On Monday, November 30th, the federal government released their fall economic statement. Joining us now from the Greater Niagara Chamber of Commerce, Hugo Chessire. Welcome to the program, Hugo.
Thanks very much, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing well. The GNCC has come out largely in favor of this statement. Can you tell us some of the things that you were happy with?
Yeah, absolutely. There was a lot to like in this economic statement. We've been stressing the need for more specific supports for businesses in industries and sectors that have been really hard hit, like tourism, like accommodation and food service. And we're very pleased to see that that's been announced in this statement. There'll be more government-backed loans to help businesses through this difficult time with very flexible repayment plans. There's going to be the extension of the wage subsidy, which is very welcome, and more of the rent relief program. So more and better was generally the message for the supports, and it's very welcome. It's going to help a lot of businesses get through the second wave, which is shaping up to be pretty tough right now, for sure.
Do you see any shortcomings in particular with this statement?
It's pretty strong overall. The one thing that we had noticed was there was a lot of emphasis on the small businesses, which is very, very welcome, to be sure. But we have to remember as well that there are a lot of large employers in Canada as well that employ thousands of people. And some of them are doing well. Some of them are doing okay. Some of them are subject to a lot of the stresses that the small businesses are subject to as well. For example, the big businesses in tourism are under just as much pressure as the small businesses. And although they do have more reserves, more money, they also have more expenditures and wages as well. So we'd hope that the government might set aside some funds, and there is still time to do this, that might be necessary to support some of the bigger businesses and hopefully save some more jobs in those sectors if it becomes necessary to do so.
The GNCC's membership is made up primarily of smaller businesses. How have they taken the news?
So far, I think pretty good. I was speaking to some people last night about it, actually, and a lot of them were very excited about the wage subsidy being extended and the cap being increased to 75%. A lot of them have said that's going to help them retain their staff and keep people employed, which is exactly what I think the government was aiming for. So it's really good to hear that that's going to be working and keeping more people employed over the winter.
Another announcement this week that the GDP for Canada for the third quarter actually was at a record-setting rate. Is that surprising that something like that would happen under COVID? And is that because of the efforts of the federal government to prop up business?
It is surprising, yes, although it's important to note that GDP is a measure of the overall economy, and so there are going to be peaks and valleys within that picture as well. Like some businesses like online retail, as Pierre Clareau from BDC said, if you're in an online retail right now, it's Christmas every month. But if you're in the tourism business, this is a difficult winter coming after a very difficult summer. So it's not evenly spread. And I think that the growth we're seeing is in certain sectors, which is why, again, that the government's economic statement was so welcome, because it's targeting those businesses that are not sharing in that growth.
The economic statement also admitted, the federal government admitted through that statement, that the deficit could be pushing up to $400 billion. To me, that seems kind of worrisome, that amount. What's your take on that number?
It's a big amount, to be sure. Fortunately, Canada started in a pretty decent place on this. Our debt level, our public federal debt level, was pretty low compared with our peer countries internationally. So it's not like we were starting from behind as the government of Ontario was with the debt load that they previously had. So it is concerning. I'm hopeful that a deficit reduction plan will be forthcoming soon, and we're told that it will be. And we might be paying off some of this debt for a long time. But I think, honestly, it's going to be easier to help businesses through this now that we have some promising vaccines on the horizon. Now it looks like there's a finish line to all this. It's going to be easier and, in the long run, cheaper to help everyone to that finish line, rather than allowing sectors of the economy to essentially collapse and hoping that they rebuild themselves, which could honestly take decades.
Hugo, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts on that economic statement. We appreciate your time today.
Anytime, Mike. Thank you.